There are only three or four. Yes. So in Hanuman Chalisa, we have only three or four shlokas left. We have come to the Falashruti, to be honest. The last eight is Falashruti. In the end, it is basically the Doha. It finishes off with the Doha, exactly like how it started off with the Doha, and then Charlie's shlokas, and then basically another finishes off with the Doha again. So Dohas, as I told you, I mean, very famous ones are Kabir ones. कल करे तो आज कर आज करे तो अभी पल में परलय हो जाएगी बहुरी करेगा कब. Like that, there are beautiful dohas, and Tulasidas writes a couple. So just to finish this thing before I go into, I know we were in the Dronagiri, about Aushadagiri. So Aushadagiri mountain, we spoke about how Hanuman actually carried the entire mountain, and how what are the different types of these things, herbs that was used by Sushena. And the most important point in the last classes, we spoke about how it is actually relevant to us. So this Aushadagiri is not just for Lakshmana, but how it is actually very relevant to us. And not only that, it's almost like a mist. Now, previously we had this just perfume, and then there is body. What do you say? Different kinds of perfumes that they use. Then they started saying different things. Now they have something called as body mist. So you just apply, put it on air, you walk through it, and you'll get the nice smell. In the same way, Aushadagiri, we were talking about Suvarna Karni. That actually, when it touches the air, if it touches all those herbs, and if it touches the herbs, and if it goes and touches all the other monkeys in the place, just like that mist, all the other monkeys will also get that Suvarna. All the other monkeys will also get that intellect, refined intellect. All the other monkeys were also getting all the remedial things. So it's not a herb which has to be only applied on the person for it to be effective. Even the air that has touched these herbs, when it was touching the entire monkey army was getting healed. That is the beauty of this mountain. So after this, Lakshmana wakes up from this arrow because of Hanuman, right? Because Hanuman brought, and then Sushena administered it. And then Sushena was true to his word, to his profession. So although he was the Raja Vaidya, he was the main doctor of Sri Lanka, of Lanka, of Ravana. He actually helped the enemies. Here, enemies basically is the Rama group, because they were the people coming. So the ethics was there. And also Sushena knew who Rama was. Sushena basically means good mind. We have been talking about the Su a lot, Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. I was talking the other day. In the same way, Sushena means good mind, a beautiful mind. That's the reason why he could see this thing, all these herbs. Hanuman couldn't see. When he went to Dronagiri, when he went to Aushadagiri, all these herbs basically hid themselves. And Hanuman couldn't find out these herbs. So what did he do? He brought the entire hill. Correct? I told you last time. But Sushena knew how to identify those herbs. So he took it, he used it. And it's so beautiful, isn't it? When you have the clear mind, a beautiful mind without any dirt in it, then it orientates and it energizes the intellect because it goes in. So what did Sushena do? The clear mind basically helped in bringing out the power of the intellect. Here intellect is Lakshmana. So Lakshmana, basically the Vijnanamaya Kosha, woke up when when the person who was handling it had a clear mind. Who was this clear mind? Sushena. So when Manonmaya Kosha becomes purer and purer, our orientation goes inward and inward more. So when the mind becomes purer, we go inward. That's the Vijnanamaya Kosha. That was Lakshmana. So Sushena helped in the sing intellect waking up. And who was the other person who helped? Whom we call as Gosai, who is Guru. Who was that? In Acharya Sthanam, we had Hanuman. Hanuman helped in getting this mind, making this mind orientate towards the intellect. So we have the different sheets from the Taittiriya Upanishad I was talking to you, the five sheets. So normally our mind, it will be projected outwards. But when we get a good guru, what will happen? The Hanuman was the guru, and our mind is getting purified. When the mind is getting purified, it starts orientating inwards. And when it starts orientating inwards, when it is pure, it can relieve all the problems and also make the intellect shine brighter. So Suvarna Karni basically makes that intellect shine. It'll make us golden. Golden here is not just the gold, it is that Hiranyagarbha linga, Hiranyagarbha's this thing, gold. So the Lakshmana woke up, and the moment Lakshmana woke up, automatically the intellect came back. And when it came back, who was happy? Rama, who is in the bliss sheath, the Anandamaya sheath. He became happy. Why? Because the orientation came inward. When man also starts looking inward, automatically God inside us becomes happy and we will be always in Ananda. Making sense? So there's an interesting point here. After this, what happens is Rama actually, he's very happy. He says, go and leave Sushena back in Lanka. Sushena falls at Rama's feet. And at that time, Rama actually says, don't worry, you go back to Lanka. I will protect you. Because one of the things is he's going back to Ravana's place. Okay, he has revived whom? He has revived Lakshmana. Okay, he is going back to the place inside the city of Lanka. Now, Rama can't enter a city. According to his this thing, he should be outside the city. So if you see, after the whole war happens, when Vibhishana has to be enthroned, yeah, Rama doesn't come inside the city to enthrone him. Vibhishana asks 100 times, Rama, please come and you make me the king of Lanka. But actually, Rama made him the king of Lanka even before the war started. I told you, even before they crossed the thing in the Indian waters itself, he made him the emperor of Lanka. But he didn't enter the kingdom. Why? Because he had promised Kaikeyi that I will not actually enter the kingdom. I will only be in the forests for the entire period of time. So he doesn't enter. But he says to Sushena, don't worry, you go, I will protect you. What does that mean? And Sushena believes that Rama will protect. Why? Because he knew that Rama is God. So if you see again and again in Ramayana, everybody is acting out their particular paths, but they all know what is going to happen. And time and again and again, you will see characters telling, oh, Rama is actually Lord Vishnu himself. Rama is actually Narayana himself. Whoever goes and talks to Ravana says, Supersva, he will say, Rama is basically Lord Narayana himself. Ravana's ministers themselves, Kalanemi. I was about to say the story of Kalanemi today. So Kalanemi says, Rama is basically Narayana himself. He is going to kill you. So, and Ravana also knew this. And it is very interesting because everyone is playing a part in the particular role. It was just a role that they were actually doing. And this can be seen time and again from their dialogues. Yeah, yeah, I know it. I know it. I'm going to get killed. So that is how it is. So here Rama says, I will protect you. So then Hanuman takes one hand the house of Sushena. Inside the house is Sushena. And on the other hand, he takes the Dronagiri or the Aushadagiri mountain and he goes because Rama says, Hanuman, there are two or three different versions of Ramayana here. In Valmiki Ramayana, as Mahesh, wrote in that particular message, in Valmiki Ramayana, Hanuman goes to the Lanka, drops the house, Sushena's house inside. Then he comes back, he takes the Aushadagiri and leaves it back in the Himalayas. In other Ramayanas, for example, the Ramayana that we follow, Ramakatha Rasavahini, or in basically other Tulasidas Ramayana, and also in Kamban, what happens is he takes two things in two hands. He takes the house in one hand and the Aushadagiri because Rama says, drop the Aushadagiri also in Lanka itself, right next to Sushena's house. So he takes Sushena's house, the doctor's house, leaves it there, and the Aushadagiri mountain there. Important point that we need to actually think about when we say this is after this incident, Lakshmana wakes up, all the people, all the monkeys wake up, everything is fine, right? Then Meghanada dies. Meghanada is the main character, right? Ravana's main son, Indrajit. He dies. Why did Ravana not ask somebody to go and get this Mrita Sanjeevani herbs and come make Meghanada revive Meghanada? Why did Ravana not use those particular herbs? Basically, why did he not use Sushena's services to revive Kumbhakarna? Or why did he not revive anybody else whom he really likes? Narantaka comes, his another son. He didn't revive any of them. He could have, right? Because if Rama can bring the particular doctor from Lanka and take his advice and bring all these medicines and then do it, then Ravana could have also done it, right? Because the doctor was there. He was in Lanka, whichever way it is. He could have just taken advice and done it. He didn't do it. Correct? Have you thought about that? Interesting point, isn't it? There is no answer for this, but I'm just actually thinking from the perspective when we read the particular thing, we think, okay, if this is the case, if you have, I mean, like the specialist right in your place, inside your house, in Lanka itself, why didn't you utilize the services of that specialist, of that consultant? It's a question that people can ask. But the important point is the orientation of the mind. And even this medicine, what we talk about, not everybody can find this medicine. Most of the time, it's adrishtam. Means adrishtam means it's a drishtam. It can't be seen. Even Hanuman couldn't see it, really speaking. He went because Sushena said, "You go there, it'll be there in that particular thing." He believed in Sushena and he just brought the whole hill because he couldn't find which one it is. But he brought the whole hill. Okay. In the same way, it is adrishtam only. And in the same way, if we see sometimes diagnosis as well, a lot of times it is adrishtam as well, because a lot of doctors will be trying to find out what is wrong with the person. And suddenly they will find it. Suddenly they might not find it. Suddenly they will find it incorrectly also. It can happen many different ways. So these are adrishtam as well in a way, because not everybody, even if you have a whole group of doctors, not everybody might be able to diagnose a particular ailment effectively sometimes because everybody reacts in different ways. It is not only like pure science at the end of the day, isn't it? We don't know what is wrong with a person. So this happens. This is a very beautiful part of Ramayana. And here, if you think about it, Hanuman actually brought the Aushadagiri and he revived the people. So the orientation that we need to see is the role of Acharya there, which is so beautiful when we talk about it. Also, I wanted to touch base on, we'll finish this last part of Hanuman Chalisa and then we'll touch base on Kalanemi and Hanuman's thing about Kalanemi. So we were in Sankata Katai Mitai Sabapira, Jo Sumarai Hanumatu Balabira, that we had already done. And Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripa Karahu Guru Devaki Nahi. So Gosai, normally in that part, Uttar Pradesh, that part, they use that particular word for Guru. Last time I was telling. And if you see in this, again, Tulasidas is reiterating how I was talking about in before, how Hanuman is that Guru and Sita being the Jivatma, Sita being perplexed in the Ashokavanam, and how Hanuman comes and gives her peace by saying, God is coming. So that aspect he's touching base on, where he's saying you have an Acharya Sthana. You are a Guru, Guru Devaki Nyahi. So you have the Gosai, the Acharya Sthana in our lives. So lead us towards towards Rama. And then he says, Jo Satabar, as I told it is Falashruti, this one, the last part, the fruit, what you get. So, Jo Satabar Patakar Koi, Chutahi Bandi, Mahasukha Hoi. So, whoever prays this, does this Hanuman Chalisa 100 times, Bandi will be, you will be released from Bandi. Bandi is bondage. So bondage, basically, you will be released from bondage. So esoteric meaning is you will get liberation because the bondage is nothing but your birth, death, cycle that we are actually coming back again and again and again. From that, we will be released. That is what it is. So if we do 100 times Shatamanam, but with sincerity, and we always talked about Trikarna Shuddhi. Previously, also Tulasidas said, unity of thought, word, and deed. So when we can do it with unity of thought, word, and deed, 100 times, what happens? We will get definitely the liberation that we were talking about. And then we said Tulasi is a Joya Padai Hanuman Chalisa, Hoya Siddhi Saki Gaurisa. So whoever sings this Hanuman Chalisa, they'll get all the siddhis. We spoke about the Ashtama Siddhis, Ashta Siddhis. You will get all the spiritual powers. And who is the Sakshi for it? So the Sakshi, because he is telling Falashruti and he needs to say, you know who is the Sakshi for this, who is the witness for this? Because I'm saying 100 times, if you sing this, you will get liberated. Then he's saying, whoever sings this, you will get all the siddhis. So for that, he needs to take a Sakshi, right? Because that's a big statement. He says Sakshi is Gaurisa. Gaurisha is Gauri Shankar. That is Shiva. So, Sakshi is Gaurisa. So, I take Shiva as the Sakshi, and I'm saying this that whoever sings this, they will get basically all the siddhis, and they will also get liberated from all the bondage. That is how he actually finishes. Why Shiva? Why not basically Vishnu? Because again there is subtlety, right? Every time, I told you, every time when you read a work like Ramayana, you will see that people will be constantly, like Valmiki will be constantly linking everything to their original avatar. So if you say Nila, he will be constantly be linked to Indra. Nala, he'll be constantly linked to Vishwakarma. Rama constantly linked to Vishnu and Narayana. Okay, they will keep linking in every sloka. In the same way, here he's talking about Hanuman. And Hanuman, the main avatar is Shiva. So he's again linking by saying Shiva is the witness. So that we can, in our mind, we start actually seeing them from the perspective of, okay, this is Shiva. And Sita means Valmiki will keep using Mahamaya constantly. She is basically the main power. And he will keep bringing that particular aspect again and again so that we actually look at it, look at those characters with those powers in it. And that is the important point. So that's the reason he brings Gaurisha in there, in that particular word. In fact, he finishes. And finally, he says, Tulasi Dasa, Sada Harichera, Ki Jainata, Hriday Mahadera. So this is Tulasi Das who is writing. Finally, he says, and I'm just a simpleton. Okay, nobody. I'm nothing. I also keep telling the name of Hari all the time. Hari, Sada Hari. So I keep telling the name, chanting the name. And please, can you basically make sure that help me so that in my heart there is a dera. Dera means when we say dera, normally you say it. You put the data in, and he just stayed here. He was just a guest, but he just came and put a data here in our house, and he never moved from here. What that means is somebody coming in and putting a data means they won't move out of that place. So here he says, I'm actually just a servant, and in my heart, I want Rama, Hriday, in my heart. I want Rama, as Rama should be there in my heart all the time. Hanuman, you should be there in my heart all the time. Put a dera in my heart and basically stay there. I don't mind. Please do keep so that I can keep Rama all the time in my heart. And that is with that prayer, he finishes the whole thing off. Then comes the Doha, where he actually says, Pavanatanaya Sankataharana, Mangalamurti Rupa, Ram Lakana Sita Saita, Hridaya Basahu Surabhupa. So this is nothing but a last prayer to Pavanatanaya, Sankataharana, basically one who removes all the problems. Who is that? Hanuman. And then Rama Lakana, Ram Lakshmana, and Sita put together. May you all bless us. That is how he finishes with that particular doha. Now, when this is getting chanted, there are different stories. One story is when he was there in Fatehpur Sikri, when inside the jail, he saw, Tulasidas saw an army of monkeys, and the jail door opened, and Tulasidas came out of the jail, and he could actually go out and he got released from the jail. Second story that comes is he was in Fatehpur Sikri. He had a vision of Hanuman, and Hanuman actually took Tulasidasa to the and they were in the form of a monkey. He took him to the Akbar's court, and then Akbar was shocked to see Tulasidas out of the jail, and Akbar sought pardon. So like this, there are many stories. For us, as far as we are concerned, we don't have to worry about, oh, which story really happened. What we know is that at the end of the day, he was there in Fatehpur Sikri for 40 days. He wrote this particular work, Chalisa, Chali Shlokas for Chali's days, basically, with Doha on the top and Doha in the end. And he got the realization. He had a vision of Hanuman. Um, but the beauty of this shloka is it brings out so many aspects of Hanuman. That is the most important thing. And Hanuman is such a beautiful avatar. And through Hanuman, there are so many messages that we actually got. Even Sita used Hanuman to convey a message very beautifully. If you know this, she conveyed that what is going to happen in future. Her Agni Pravesham through Hanuman. You know that, right? So Sita says this dialogue. There is a very important shloka. We actually, I put that shloka in the Ram Leela here in Newcastle as well, where she says, if I haven't thought about Rama in thought, word, or deed. I was talking about the Trikarna Shuddhi, no? The Trikarna Shuddhi comes again in a lot in Ramayana. So she says this dialogue, which is very powerful mantra, where she says, if I haven't thought about anybody other than Rama in thought, word, and deed, then may this fire be as cool as sandalwood for me. She says that. And she enters the fire. You know that shloka, right? I'm just telling it in English. In Sanskrit, it's much more powerful, very beautiful. But before she does that, before that Agni Pravesham, she says the same shloka, but in the end, instead of saying, may this fire be as cool as sandalwood for me, she says, may this fire be as cool as sandalwood for Hanuman. Do you know when she says that?
When Lanka Dahana, they put the fire for the tail and then.
Yes. So when Ravana actually lights up the tail of Hanuman, what happens is one of the demons, she comes and she says, "Oh, there was a monkey which came to see you, and our God." I mean, the demon says, "Our God" means that Ravana. He caught him, and he has lit the fire on his tail, on the tail, and poor monkey, he has tail, fire on the tail, and he's struggling. The demon actually makes that kind of comment and laughs. One of the Rakshasas, she laughs. At that time, Sita actually thinks, "Oh my God, this Hanuman came to see me, and he came as a messenger, basically, to check whether I am there or not." And he has to go back and tell my lord Rama that I am here. And if they have lit the fire, how will he go? And just for coming as a messenger, why should he be punished? So at that time, Sita actually stands up and she says, if the shloka that I just told, that is, if I haven't thought about anybody other than Rama in thought, word, and deed, then may this fire that is there in Hanuman's tail be as cool as sandalwood for him. So the moment she says that, Hanuman stops feeling the burning sensation in his tail. He starts actually feeling cool sandalwood in his particular tail. It's as though like he was happy with that. And then that's when he starts jumping, and he starts jumping from one place to another. And he goes from one place to another, and he starts lighting the entire um, Lanka up. So this was a prelude because Sita already knew the next scene is going to come where after the war, the same thing, Agni Pravesham will be asked. I'm going to actually be telling this. So she actually did the sample with Hanuman, which is quite an interesting part. Beautiful, isn't it? In fact, somebody asked last time about Sita, and one of the things is Rama actually says a very beautiful shloka where he says, she is the Maya, Mahamaya. Sita is a Mahamaya, and she is directing this play. I am just a character. So that's what Rama actually says when he actually talks. And when Shiva actually talks to Parvati, Shiva tells the same Ramayana to Parvati. And at that time also, Shiva actually mentions everything was planned by Sita, and Rama was just basically a mere spectator. And that is the shloka that Shiva actually does as well. And he actually says Rama is nothing but basically a mere spectator who got pulled and pushed based on Sita's whims, because she was the one who actually decided how it needs to go, how it needs to run the entire particular point. So all these things are very interesting things about Hanuman. Again, about Ramayana. Again, about Hanuman, there is so many beautiful things. There is one thing that I wanted to touch base on, which we did a play on. The thing is, after all this victory happens, when the coronation of Rama was happening, at the end of coronation, we did this as a play where Sita actually gives a necklace as a gift to Hanuman. Already she has given so many boons to Hanuman. He is going to be a Chiranjeevi. He is going to have Ashtasiddhis, Navanidhis, all those things. And Rama will always love him. That is the most important thing. I told you about the Sundara Kandam where says she gives all those things. Here, Sita actually says, okay, Hanuman, she calls Hanuman during the coronation, and she gives him a beautiful necklace. That necklace was actually gifted to Sita by the ocean goddess. So she says, I was very happy with with all the efforts that you put in during the war. Here's a necklace. And there is this beautiful scene where Hanuman actually takes, it's a lovely pearl necklace. And he takes one pearl, he starts pulling each and every pearl out of the necklace. And he starts shaking it and keeping his pearl inside his ears. And he tries to listen to something. And then nothing comes out, no sound. He's disappointed and he bites the pearl and then tries to listen again. And then he throws the pearl off. Then he starts doing like that, one pearl after another. And the entire court is unhappy because everybody is looking. See, Sita is the queen. She has given a gift on the day of coronation. Okay, auspicious day to this person. According to many, he is a monkey, and he is doing like this. He's taking it, ripping the entire necklace, and he's throwing one after another off. So at that time, I mean, people start talking. At the end of the day, monkey is a monkey. It'll throw like this only. It doesn't understand the value of an item, and everybody starts talking. At that time, Sita asks, what are you doing, Hanuman? Then he says, I'm trying to find out whether any of these gems will have the name of Rama reverberating in them. And I can't hear the name of Rama in it, in any of the gems. Without the name of Rama, any substance is useless to me. That is the reason why I'm throwing it off. So the use of the item, the value of the item is based on whether the Ramanama is coming out of it, whether it's taking us closer to the divine. That is what this guru is telling. If an item is valuable and it is taking you closer to the divine, if it's a book and that book is only 10 rupees or 100 rupees, it is more valuable than a diamond necklace, which is probably 10 million, because the diamond necklace is not going to take us near the divine, whereas this book might actually take us near the divine. So that is what he is trying to say. Any object, this object is of no use, and he threw it. Everything needs to be seen from the practical perspective, from our side, what it is. So he was throwing. So at that time, So one person gets up in the court and he says, "Oh, if everything has to be having Rama's name, you're wearing your body, you're having a body. Does that body actually reverberates Rama's name all the time?" And then Hanuman says, "Yes." And he removes one hair, Roma, they call it Roma. And then he keeps it near his ears and keeps it near the king's ears. And the king hears that from his hair itself, the hair is reverberating Rama, 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 that name. So that's what we sing it as Roma Roma me Ram base hai. So that is in every Roma of Hanuman, every hair of Hanuman, Rama's name was coming out, reverberating. The other person who had that kind of this thing later on was Bharata. I was telling how when Hanuman goes to Bharata to say that, wait, Rama and Sita and Lakshmana are coming. They are actually in Prayagraj, having accepting the hospitality of sage Bharadwaja Rishi. They are going to come because Bharata is about to go into the fire, jump into the fire. And because he was waiting, if Rama wouldn't come, then he would have jumped into the fire. And at that time, he sees Bharata, and Hanuman actually understands the kind of sincerity and the kind of devotion that Bharata had. And even from him, his hair was also reverberating at that particular point of time. Bharata's hair was also reverberating of Rama's name. So both of them hugged each other. That was a beautiful, very poignant moment. Very beautiful. The other point is the smartness. We were talking about the smartness of Hanuman as well. There's one very beautiful incident where when Vibhishana decides to actually come to India and take refuge in Rama because he is leaving his brother and he is coming and taking refuge in Rama's army, right? And he's full of intelligence because it's enemy intelligence. If he leaves Ravana's army and if he comes to that place, then he will know everything about Ravana's sons. So all that information will also go to Rama, which will make Rama more powerful. So he is a very important person and he can come and give. And there are many times when Vibhishana gives the right kind of advice because he knows what is going to come, what those people will do, how to prevent some sacrifices that Indrajit plans, a sacrifice that Ravana plans. All those yajnas will be stopped because Vibhishana will give all that information. So when Vibhishana comes to surrender to Rama, at that time, Sugriva and a lot of other people actually tell Rama, no, no, this might be plot, a ploy by from Ravana's side. They do all kinds of things like this. If you accept, he will be near us, but in the end, he will backstab us. So don't accept Vibhishana. At that particular point of time, Hanuman says, Rama asks Hanuman, should we accept him or should we not accept him? Because Rama asks everybody around. And Hanuman says, I don't know, you need to decide, my lord. But there is one thing that actually makes me think about Viveshna. And he asks what? His Gada. So Viveshna would be carrying a Gada. Okay. And Rama says, why are you thinking about his Gada when we are talking about surrender? And then Hanuman says, I saw how he was holding the Gada. And that is the reason I think he's honest and sincere. Because if somebody is holding the Gada like this, they are coming for something else. But Vibhishana will bring his Gada, but he'll be holding it like this in that part. And he is there. So he would have seen even those subtle things, a beautiful body language thing. Okay, how they come, how he has approached, very small things. But even those things, an acharya can easily find out, a guru can find out, is this person basically making things up, acting in front, or does he really have that kind of humility? Or is he just acting in front? So those things, that body language, the way in which we pick it up, Hanuman picks it up. It's so beautiful. That's a very interesting point as well. And also the other thing that people say is, Yes, when Krishna was telling the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, who else was there? And people say there was Hanuman there because in Krishna's chariot, in Arjuna's chariot, the flag basically was Hanuman's flag. So the only other basically flag which was there, which was very near when the Gita Upadesham was happening, was Hanuman's flag, and Hanuman was there. And Hanuman, the way in which he talks is very good, and he is excellent in talking. I told you about his four arms, how Vishnu gave that particular darshan to him, and how he says you have many arms. He doesn't say you have two hands. You have many hands. That is four hands because he saw the four hands of Rama the first time itself. So he had the darshan of the divine. So the way in which he speaks, Bhashana Kaushalyam, I was talking about that, and he was so beautiful, so beautiful. He speaks so well, and he doesn't say anything extra. I was telling you the other day about how he says to Sita, Mother, I'm just the messenger. I'm the least powerful out of that entire army. How speaks. And that kind of speech, he doesn't talk anything extra. And there is a beautiful commentary by Tulasidas where he says there is only one sentence that he talks extra, but that sentence becomes the turning point in Ramayana. So Hanuman talks only, always he only talks what is necessary. He doesn't say even one sentence extra. But there is one occasion, Tulasidas says, where he speaks one sentence extra. Okay. And you might think it is wrong speaking extra. Hanuman did an extra sentence there. But that becomes the turning point in Ramayana. Which sentence it is? I'll tell you that so that it's very nice. So what happens? The Masyam has happened. So Sugriva has already got the kingdom. Then nobody goes to search for Sita. 4 months everybody has been waiting. After 4 months, Rama sends Lakshmana to go and talk to Sugriva. Then Lakshmana goes, talks to Sugriva, and then Sugriva sends different people in different directions to go and search for Sita. Correct. So when that happens, Rama, Nala, Nila, they all come in the south direction towards Lanka to see. They look around all the southern places to see whether Sita is somewhere anywhere near. And then they climb a hill. And in the hill inside, there is a little bit of a place like a cave on top of the hill, but there is a kind of a cave gap in there. And there they are actually starting, they've been searching, Hanuman has been searching, they're looking for Sita, and they couldn't find Sita anywhere. And this place, Hanuman says one extra dialogue. He says, we have been searching for this long a time. Everywhere we have searched. Okay, we have searched Tamil Nadu, we have searched Karnataka, we have searched Andhra Pradesh, we have searched everywhere. We couldn't find. Okay, now I can't go back finding out where Sita is. I would much rather, this is extra line that Tulasidas is talking about, this shloka where he says, I would much rather die like Jatayu. Okay. I would much rather die like Jatayu than basically go back and say that I don't know where Sita is to Rama. And when he says this dialogue, this extra line, behind in the dark, there is, Jatayu's brother will be there. Yeah, Sampadi. So he will be there. He immediately hears this dialogue and he says, whom are you talking about? Did you talk about my Jatayu, my brother? And then basically here Hanuman turns back and says, yes, Jatayu died. And he says what happened. Then immediately Sampadi says, oh my God, he starts feeling really sad. And at that time, Hanuman says, do you know where Sita is? And Sampadi says, I have brilliant eyesight, but I can't move because my wings are completely gone. Then Hanuman says, you chant the Ramanama, you will get wings back again. Everything will start growing back again. You get new life when you chant the Ramanama. And he chants the Ramanama and the wings start working a little, but in the meanwhile, Jatayu says, although my wings aren't working, my eyes are powerful enough. It can see hundreds of kilometers in front. And I can see from here Mother Sita in Lanka. She is in Ashokavanam, a lady crying in Ashokavanam. Okay, so she is there. So go and tell that she is in Lanka. So that one sentence extra that Hanuman talks turns out to be the turning point for Ramayana, because if Sampadi wouldn't have told, Hanuman and everybody would have just gone back and told that they couldn't find Sita and nobody would have known where Sita was. So that's very interesting as well, isn't it? These are subtle but beautiful instances where all these things happen. There is a Kala Nemi story. I don't know whether you would want to hear that story, but before we go into the another story and things, I know it is 9:45. So what we started to do with Hanuman Chalisa as an exercise was how jnana, how knowing about something can really help in bhakti, because our ancestors, our sages never saw everything as separate margas. They didn't say, oh, this is Raja Marga, this is Jnana Marga, this is this thing. At the end of the day, basically, you use all the margas, whatever margas it is, because the rivers might be different, but the ocean is the same where it goes and merges. So at the end of the day, our lakshya is the same. Okay, so if you continue to say, oh, only Namasmarana will take me through this, nobody said that only Namasmarana will take you through this. In Kali Yuga, Namasmarana is very effective. But even for Namasmarana, if we know more information, if we have more knowledge of all of the scriptures that we are chanting for Namasmarana, it actually helps us in developing that particular bhakti. That is how I understand it. This is my humble understanding. So it actually helps. And when we are actually chanting it, we can visualize a lot of these stories, all these beautiful stories, Hanuman jumping and beating somebody, and all those lovely stories when we say Mahavira or different things, Ashtasiddhi, then immediately you can think about he going into the mouth and coming out from the mouth when he took the anima form. So all these things can make it more lively. The whole thing, the whole sadhana itself becomes very lively, and that is the reason I think it is important to know that have that jnana as well, so that it helps. And the another important point with jnana is if we don't have the jnana, it is coming to a stage where the next generation, it is going to be very difficult for us to have this next generation continue in the path of Sanatana Dharma. Because this path is not a path like probably Islam, where you force somebody to do basically, okay, every day you do five times prayer or four times prayer, and then you can't question this, you can't question that. This is how you need to be. This is how you need to be. That's not the path that Sanatana Dharma adopts. It is a path where people have to actually do what they would like to do. It gives you a lot of freedom. But from freedom, the problem is that sometimes you would have people who won't do anything. And there can come a time where if we don't know what the answers to the questions are as parents, it is a big possibility that the next generation might say, oh, I'm not interested in Hinduism. I'm not interested in this particular faith. So jnana is also very important, not for just telling others, but for telling ourselves and basically telling our next generation. That is also very important. So that is the reason jnana coupled with bhakti is always a very, very good advantage. Of course, karma also is very important. There is no doubt about it. And of course, basically, dhyana is also very, very important. We can utilize everything together, have a mix of everything together. And that is what we can think about. Is that okay? Do you want the Kalanimi story as well? We'll finish the recording if you don't mind. And if you want any more stories or answers, I'll give you that. Gayatri?